Metaphysical School's poetry. The term metaphysical has two words. Meta and physical. Meta means beyond, and physical means the things around us. So, these metaphysical poets wrote about the things beyond the physical existence. The term metaphysical is applied to the poetry of early 17th century. It was used by Dr. Samuel Johnson in his essay, Life of Cowley. Johnson borrowed it from John Dryden. John Donne is known as the chief of the Metaphysical School of Poetry. Abraham Cowley, Andrew Marvell, George Herbert, Henry Vaughan, Richard Crashaw, G. Chapman, etc. are other metaphysical poets. Their poetry is different from the poetry of Elizabethan and Cavalier poets. The features of metaphysical poetry are 1. Display of learning. Metaphysical poets were highly educated at the universities. So they expressed their learning through poetry. But it made their poetry difficult to understand. 2. Intellectual poetry. Metaphysical poetry is highly intellectual. These poets did not follow traditional ways of writing poetry. They used new thoughts and styles for their poetry. Therefore, their poetry appeals only to intellectual persons. 3. Far-fetched imagery. Metaphysical poets used far-fetched images. Two things from two different fields are compared with each other. For example, love is compared with objects from science, religion, mathematics, etc. So, their poetry seems illogical. Egg. Love is compared with beaten gold by John Donne. 4. Metaphysical conceits. The most important characteristic of metaphysical poetry is the metaphysical conceit. Actually, the conceit is a witty comparison between two things. But these poets compared abstract and non-physical things with physical things. For example, Donne compares 2 feet of compass with true lovers. 5. Dramatic nature. Metaphysical poets used dramatic nature for their poetry. Their poems are addressed to someone. Their style of poetry is conversational in tone. 6. Lyrical quality. Metaphysical poetry is lyrical in tone. Many of the poems are lyrics. For example, Donne's Lover's Infiniteness. 7. Subject of poetry. These poets wrote subjective poetry. They wrote religious poems. They also wrote about love, soul, death, etc. In this way, metaphysical poetry was difficult for common readers. Too much knowledge and conceits made the poetry boring. So, it did not remain popular for a long time. But in the modern age, T.S. Eliot made this poetry popular.